G'day, I'm Dave Graham. There's been a lot of talk recently about surrogacy and its effect on families in especially Queensland. So I thought, who better to ask than the mother and fathers of little baby Huxley and Elijah. I caught up with them in Brisbane today, and this is their stories. So Rachel, this whole surrogacy debate is pretty heated up at the moment, and you're pretty much right at the centre of it. So how did you get involved, and what is your role in this whole surrogacy issue?
I sort of just got involved first with donating my eggs, and I was involved a lot on the online infertility forums, and I was actually running an egg donor one at the time. And that's when I sort of started looking into surrogacy. It was just like the next step. I've done egg donation, what's next? So yeah, I looked into surrogacy, and at the time it was illegal in Queensland.
So take us back. You're just rolling off your tongue. But, first of all, I just donated eggs, and then what is that like? Part of your DNA going to someone else. Like what took you to that process of going, I want to share myself with other people that I'm not going to have a part of?
Yeah, well, I just had sort of seen an article in the newspaper, and that was, at first I thought there's absolutely no way I could do it because it's giving away a child. But the more research I did into it, the more I realised it's just an egg, it's not a baby until it's obviously born. So that's just sort of, I thought, well, that's something I could do. I had nothing better to do with my time.
But do you feel it's like blood donation? You're actually
it's a lot like a blood donation, except it's obviously a lot more intrusive because you're injecting daily. You have to have surgery for egg pickup and that sort of thing. So it is really involved.
And so, was there any point in that journey that you thought, this is getting too much?
No. I mean, I did get really sick after a few of my cycles and ended up in hospital once. So I think my husband was more concerned about the health side of things than I was. But, I mean, and I had no idea how I would react when I first saw my first egg donor child. So I just sort of took it as it came and just sort of expected any range of emotions. I think that's the way you've got to sort of approach it, to expect anything.
And you mentioned your husband. Was he there holding your hand along the way? Was he part of the decision-making process?
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. He's been my number one support person. And if he wasn't there for me to listen to me whinge and complain and cry, then there's no way I could have done it on my own.
And what was it like, that first moment that you saw this child that you were part of and yet going to give away?
Yeah, well, it was just like I guess like a nephew or niece. It was like, oh yeah, they kind of look like my children. They've got so and so's eyes or that sort of thing. But it was actually a bit fun just to pick and compare.
But you'd already disconnected? There wasn't that ownership?
Well, I didn't carry the baby.
Right.
So once the egg pickup was done, my part was over.
Okay.
So with the egg donations, it was very easy to just move on. Yeah.
And so you've gone on to actually have children for other people and carry children and do that in a few different ways. What was it like to actually go through that whole process of holding someone else's child and then
giving it away?
Yeah.
It was kind of easy because before you even get pregnant, you know that the child you're going to carry isn't going to be yours. So you're in the headspace that this child isn't going to be mine. I still bonded with the babies. I've still enjoyed every minute of being pregnant. I loved feeling them kick. I would laugh at their antics while I was pregnant.
How many children have you had for other families?
For other families, I've had 3 surrogate children and then 3 egg donation children to different families. Yeah.
So, what does your community, what does your family think about you being pregnant and yet not having more children in your own family?
My husband obviously is fine with it. He's completely supportive. We know we've finished our family. We've got 3 children. We don't need any more. Absolutely not. But I guess my immediate family, my parents, my brothers and that sort of thing, I don't think they just really understand what is motivating me to do it. I think that's sort of just, I mean, they don't give me any negativity about it, but they just sort of don't give me any feedback at all because I think they don't understand why I'd want to do it.
But they feel that they respect that it's your personal choice,
right.
It's your body.
Yeah, they just say, do whatever you want as long as Simon's okay with it and your
kids are okay with it. Do you find any similarity between fostering a child, like you're fostering a child within your body rather than just within your home?
I guess it's like that. You're the carrier and you've got to nourish that child for those 9 months and you've got to do everything you can to have a healthy baby.
Yeah.
So I guess in a way it's kind of like that, yeah.
Did you feel, obviously, you know, you've got huge responsibility. Did you feel there was more responsibility with other people's children when you're carrying them than your own children?
I think it was more the pressure of getting pregnant was sort of a bit more pressure than you'd put on yourself if you were just trying, because you know it's time that they're waiting for you to get pregnant, and if say you had a miscarriage, then I would have taken it harder if it was a miscarriage on my own, just because you feel like their sort of hopes and dreams are resting on everything every day that you're pregnant and that sort of thing. So there is a little bit more pressure in that respect. But I mean, I treated the pregnancies as I would have my own. I did all the same things I would have with my own because I've had 3 healthy children. I'd obviously done it right 3 times, so and they trusted me.
And would you have any advice to prospective surrogates out there, and what would you say to them about your experience and what they could get from this whole experience?
I would say think about what you're expecting from the experience, and be flexible, because you know you can have best laid plans, but they can go to hell all the time. So you just really need to do a lot of thinking before you even decide that it's something you want to do. Talk to family, talk to friends, get their feedback, that sort of thing.
How much communication do you think that other people should have from your experience?
I think you should have a strong base foundation of trust and openness with the prospective parents that you're doing it for, because I mean, so much emotions, and you know everything goes into being pregnant for 9 months and having them in your life, not just as people you're having a baby for, but they become, you know, friends, and they're there at all the appointments, they're there at the birth, you know, there's a lot going on. So you do need a good communication between parents and surrogate. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, final question, would you do it again?
Yeah.
You would?
I would. I think my husband will have a panic attack. But I think I would do it again. Yeah.
Well, look, it's the greatest gift I think any human can give, and that's another life, and it's awesome that you've been able to give so many families that can't perform this chance. So good on you.
Thank you.
Thank you.